Rise, Rapture, rise. We turn our hopes into the skies. Well, not in this game, because in Bioshock 2 they went back down into their sinking paradise. No offense to the actual Rapture Rising song made by Bioshock, but if you still haven't gotten the point that I'm trying to say is that, yes, we are still in Rapture.
This is Sparta!
Hello guys and welcome to the channel, and in this video I'll be talking about the best way to platinum Bioshock 2. So you might be asking yourself, what do I mean by best way to platinum? This is not really tailored, or this is gonna be the first of a series where I'm gonna talk about how to best platinum a game. So it's not really necessarily tailored in the fastest way to platinum, but it is more tailored on the trophies that you need to keep track on, and at the same time enjoying the experience that will eventually lead to you getting a platinum. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, I hope you have somebody to carry on your family name.
So to kick things off, I'm going to first of all give my thoughts on the game. So if you want to quickly dive into where I'm actually going to talk about the trophy that you need to keep track on, you can check the timestamp below in the description, such that you can just quickly skip to that. Other than that, my thoughts on the game, pretty much it's still in Rapture, and I kind of felt weird about that. Like, let's look for example, Batman. Batman is a really good game. That's Batman Arkham Asylum. So you can imagine how that game was, such a masterpiece of a game, 10 out of 10, and the sequel to that was Batman Arkham City. Something new, something fresh, but imagine now for the sequel of Batman we get Batman Arkham Asylum 2. See what I mean? So yeah, don't get me wrong, I do love Rapture, and when I first played Bioshock, and this is actually I played actually the first game and came to the second game because I'm doing the entire series. So I was like, okay, we're still in Rapture, okay, so I was trying to see, okay, what is new. Is it still fresh, or what's going on? So it's pretty much the concept here is it's 8 years after the events of the original game. So pretty much the same basic concepts are still there. They're still little sisters. Yeah, little sisters. If you played the first one, you know what I'm talking about. Still little sisters, big daddies are there, a new villain, and a conspiracy. So pretty much that's the same formula from Bioshock 1. And yeah, don't get me wrong, there are also good improvements in the game, like there's new ways to hacking, new plasmids, new weapons, some pretty good stuff in here. But other than that, I think my experience, overall, I think maybe I'd give it that's a 7.5 out of 10, just because it wasn't really, I didn't necessarily feel it was too original. Yes, we did get to see different areas of Rapture, but all in all, like, there was a point where I felt really burnt out in the game because it had this repetitiveness of, you get to a new level, same thing. You're looking at, you have to keep track of the little sisters, do the gathers, and rinse and repeat. So and you still have a massive area to explore. So over time, it came a bit, tedious. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, there are fun stuff about the game. Like, I did like the spear gun, getting clean headshots were really satisfying. Also, there was the added mini turrets, which was pretty cool. And also, obviously, the signature of Bioshock, some weird random events, which are pretty hilarious.
You animal!
Overall, good game. And yeah, I think other than that, let's just dive into how you can best platinum Bioshock 2. Yeah, so as soon as you boot up the game, what I would recommend is for you to do 2 playthroughs of this game. So the first, and why I'm recommending 2 playthroughs is because just to kind of keep things more linear, and just because there's pretty much a lot for you to keep track on, and at the same time you don't want to risk some trophies like the big brass balls trophy. That's, you need to beat the game without using Vita chambers. Vita chambers are like checkpoints. When you die, you get respawned there. Other than that, there's also against all odds. That's actually beating the game on the hardest difficulty. So just for the best experience, I'd personally recommend 2 playthroughs. But yes, of course, it can be beat in 1 playthrough, but the reason why I'm actually recommending 2 is because the game actually has 2 endings and you want to get the best experience. So for your first playthrough, you can set it at either easy or normal difficulty, and of course disable Vita Chambers. So automatically when you beat the game like this, you will unlock big brass balls. It just sounds weird me keeping on saying that. So these are of course missable trophies. Any other trophy that I'm not gonna mention, these are trophies that you are going to unlock naturally by just playing the game and just enjoying the game. Even just finishing the game, you're just gonna unlock these trophies. So these are missable trophies. So the first trophy you need to keep track on is Rapture Historian trophy. So this trophy requires you to collect at least 100 audio diaries. So these audio diaries are, recorded messages in game that you need to kind of collect and also listen into. They give a very good insight of what is actually going on in a specific area or areas just involving Rapture as a whole. What I'd recommend is actually using a written guide in where these audio diaries are. I'm going to leave a link to the one I actually used because there are tons of videos out there which actually show you where they are, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend you looking at a video just to look at where it is, but actually read where it is. Why do I mean read? Because you're actually still playing the game, you're not actually deviating too much, right? So once you read on where it is while you're playing, it's much more easier just to actually stick towards the game. And I found it very nice actually reading and figuring out where it actually was and where I was in that area. So yeah, just check out the link in the description. You're gonna see a link that I used to kind of track all the 100 audio diaries. Of course there are more than 100 in the game, but once you collect 100, you will unlock this trophy. So for the Granddaddy trophy, that's defeating three big daddies without dying during a fight. It's pretty straightforward here. You need to take down 3 big daddies in any area just without dying. So there are 3 little sisters on average in an area, so that equates to 3 big daddies. So just take them out without dying and you will get this trophy. Of course, since this is going to be your first playthrough, set the game on easy difficulty. These guys will not be too hard to take down. They'll be pretty easy to take down. You just need to actually just go hard on them and yeah, you'll take them out. So you just need to do that for 3 big daddies and you're going to get a trophy for that. Dealt with every little sister trophy. So it's pretty straightforward here. Every little sister you interact with, you need to obviously deal with them. So you're going to be given 2 choices: either rescue or harvest. And what I recommend for your first playthrough here is just rescue. Rescue every little sister in the game, and there's a reason for that and I'll explain it in another trophy. But other than that, just rescue every little sister you find. So for the Master Gatherer trophy, that's to gather 600 Adam with little sisters. So the key word here is with little sisters. So in this scenario, you need to gather a total of 600. You don't need to have accumulated 600 in storage, or rather in your inventory, but it's just during the process, because you'll obviously be collecting Adam and spending Adam. So in total, it's technically if it's kind of not missable if you're actually doing the dealt with every little sister trophy. So naturally you will get 600 Adam. So if you deal with every little sister and actually rescue them, you are going to get a total of 600 Adam. So it's accumulative, it's very passive. So don't worry about it being, don't worry about the 600 showing on your inventory. You will get this trophy by just, gathering with them naturally in the game. So for the Master Protector trophy, that's you getting through a gather without taking damage and no one getting to the little sister. You can actually get this trophy very early on in the game, actually even in your first gather if you know what you're doing, or in the second gather. But obviously I'd recommend the second gather because there's a turret there. Make sure you hack the turret so it's gonna be your backup. by that time you'll get the revet gun. So lay down the traps around. I'd recommend just laying down the traps around the little sister and on the entrances in that area. And once you do that, just kind of take cover, pick out your shots, and trust me, no one will get to the little sister, and if you do it right, you will not take damage. Once you do this and you do it okay, you're gonna get the trophies. But if you do get hit, don't worry. I'd recommend saving before you start doing a gather, such that when you get hit, just reload the save. Or if someone actually gets to the little sister, just reload the save, and yeah, and just rinse and repeat, and you will get this trophy. Look at you, hacker. So that's you killed 50 enemies using only hacked security. So yeah, this trophy is actually very highly missable. So, but you need to make sure that you're doing the right thing in order to get this trophy unlocked. So what I'm gonna recommend is that, yeah, you could definitely need to hack security. So what the security here is turrets and security cameras. So you need to, most of the time, any camera you find, hack it such that when enemies come around it, you know, they're gonna trigger the bots. So the bots are actually also security bots. So the security bots will come and just kind of take care of things. So I'd recommend also kind of taking 1 or 2 shots at the enemy such that the security will just get the final blow, and that will count as a kill. So yeah, just hack every security you find. I can also recommend, like, you can do a trick such that you can trigger, or when you're maybe hacking a vending machine or something, you can actually spawn or trigger the alarm so some security, you know, comes with you, and or rather they are gonna come for you. So just kind of either you shock them, disable them, and hack them. So some of them you can hack. Or actually right now on the footage you can see like a trick I'm doing, calling the security bots and kind of trying to hack them. So once you get those, and just let them stick with you. So I believe that also accumulated, because that's what I did. But just make sure you're hacking cameras and turrets and letting them take care of mostly the final blows, and you will get this trophy. For the Master Hacker trophy, that's hacked 30 machines at a distance with the hack tool. So also this one is straightforward. Make sure during the game you'll actually pick up the hack tool. So with the hack tool, just make sure you always have, you know, a lot of hacking darts or the auto hack darts, and always hack machines. You know, at the very start, just always, any machine you find, even if it's within range, just use the hack tool. That way you'll quickly get the trophy, or rather it will accumulate and you'll get 30 machines hacked with it, and you'll get your trophy. The Prolific Hacker hacked 1 of each kind of machine. So yeah, this goes to anything that you can possibly hack in this game. So that includes all types of security, that's turrets, cameras, and bots. You know, any security, hack it. Vending machines, you know, the normal vending machine and the one for the ammo, the bandit ammo. I think I've forgotten the name of that thing. Anyway, just hack those vending machines. Also health stations, anything that you can hack, doors, anything, hack everything, and naturally you will get this trophy. All weapon upgrades, found every power to the people weapon upgrade in the game. So this trophy requires you to find all of these stations where you need to upgrade your gun. So I had mentioned in the earlier trophy, that is the Rapture Historian trophy, where you need to find 100 audio diaries. So the link in the description will also tell you where they are. So naturally some of them are actually just out in the open, you will find them when you progress, but some are actually well hidden. So you need to make sure you're always exploring every area or every door that you find, and you will get these stations. So I'd recommend using the link in the description, and you will be able to kind of keep track of where they are. Another thing to mention is that in this game you cannot backtrack. Once you enter a specific area, you cannot backtrack. So once you do not collect, you know, the audio diaries in that area, and get, or maybe deal with any little sisters or anything that you need to collect in that area, you will not go back to. So make sure you've cleaned out an area before you proceed. Otherwise you might possibly miss out on a trophy. fully upgraded a weapon. That's installed the third upgrade to a weapon. So once you find a weapon upgrading station, just make sure you've picked out a gun that you want to fully start upgrading. Do not try to mix up your upgrades. Just pick one gun to start out with, then try upgrading. It could be the drill, it could be the revet gun. So just pick one gun. By default, you will have 2 opened upgrades. So once you upgrade it twice, the third one will unlock on the third station you find. So once you unlock the third one, you will get a trophy for that. All plasmids. Found or purchased 11 basic plasmid types. So this one also you need to also keep track of. Ideally there's a total of 10 spanned out in the levels of the game. So some you will find in the area, basically you'll just be able to pick it up such that you can naturally progress through the game. Some you need to buy them in the Gatherer's Garden vending station. So make sure every time you go to a Gatherer's Garden, just also make sure you're also trying to buy a plasmid that you do not have. That way you will naturally get this trophy. So before you reach the end of the game, you should have a total of 10, because right at the very near end of the game you will naturally unlock one special plasmid, because that will be the last one that you will obtain, and it will pop this trophy. Max Plasmid Slots trophy. Fully upgraded to the maximum number of plasmid slots. So every time you see a Gatherer's Garden, the sequence here should be buy a plasmid slot, buy a tonic slot. Almost said gin and tonic. Wow. Buy a tonic slot. So every time you go to a Gather, just buy those 2 slots to go, because once you buy a plasmid slot, you will not be able to buy it again. So you'll actually buy it maybe in a different gather station or in a different area. So make sure you're always buying, first of all, a plasmid slot and a tonic slot. So I'm going to talk about tonics in another trophy, but make sure you're doing that. And by the end, once you come near to the end of the game, you should have a total of 11 already opened. So just bear in mind those 2 sequences. Every time you harvest and get other, go to a Gathers, try to buy a plasmid slot, tonic slot, then buy whatever else you need to buy. And also to mention, for your first purchase you will get the trophy bought a slot. So that says you bought a 1 plasmid or tonic slot at the Gather station. So that's automatically you will get it on your first purchase. So also the reason why I'd recommend also just that sequence of also buying tonics. There's not a trophy that tells you to actually buy all tonics or actually open up all the tonic slots, but the tonics will actually help you play better in the game, so that it will improve, maybe how hard you hit, or how much damage you're doing, or how much, and also on upgrades that you want to do. So definitely just try as much to buy the tonic slots, because they're cheaper, and they give variety and kind of improve on how you actually play the game. Fully upgraded a plasmid. So it states fully upgraded 1 plasmid to level 3 version. So naturally, once you pick up plasmids, once you just start out the game, you'll be picking obviously level 1. They don't have any indication that they're level 1, but level 2 plasmids have a plus sign on them, so that indicates that they're plus 2. So whatever favorite plasmid that you'd like, that's either the Incinerate or the Electrobolt, just kind of bear in mind you need to be upgrading at least maybe 1, or maybe 2 if you based on how much Adam you have. So, and this trophy will be unlocked much later on in the game. So near the end game, that's when you'll start unlocking the level 3 version. So you'll see 2 plus signs on that specific plasmid that you want. So once you purchase it, you will get the trophy. 1 research track. So it states maxed out 1 research track. So yeah, pretty much vague here. So to give it more content, I cannot stress how important it is for you to be researching in this game. So in the game, you will eventually need the research camera. So this research camera is like naturally you will get it if you're going to progress through the game, because you need to do research on a specific brute enemy. That's the brute splices. So the tip here is, on your touchpad, if you're playing it on the PS4, obviously you're playing it on PS4, yeah, click on the touchpad or tap on the touchpad, go to the extreme right, you see the camera icon. Once you go to the camera icon, it will list down all enemies, or rather it will list down the enemy or the splicer that you have started tracking. So obviously you will be shown how to do your first research, that you just need to kind of start the camera and start going at it with the enemy. So this is very different from Bioshock 1's method of researching. So this one you actually need to roll the camera and actually start hitting the enemy or doing damage to the enemy. So the tip here is also, there's a hint icon when you press triangle on a specific splicer that you want to do research. So hit triangle on this particular menu and it will give you tips on how you can fully maximize this research. So you want to make sure that it comes from level 1 all the way to level 4. So you need to be aiming for the A+ research. So every time you finish your research, make sure it's at least an A and above. That's A or A+. And once you do that, it'll give you the best research results possible, and you can quickly get this trophy for maxing out one research. Another point to note is also during this area, that's the Popper's Drop. I think that's the third area in the game, so that's where you actually unlock the research camera. So make sure you have fully done your research on the Thuglish splices. Hopefully I pronounced it okay. So make sure you fully max out on their research, because if you don't, they will not spawn in the next level. So they only spawn here, or rather this is the last area where they spawn. So if you don't get it done, you will not even get the research master trophy, which requires you to do all research of everything in the game. So make sure you fully get that research done in that area before you proceed on. Which brings us to the research master trophy. So this requires us to complete all research on every subject in Rapture. So what are these subjects? So that's the Thuggish splicers, Leadhead splicers, Spider splicers, Houdini splicers, Big Daddy, Big Sister, All Security, Brute splicers, and the Alpha series. So like I mentioned earlier, once you start with the Thuggish splicers, you can also actually even do in that area the Leadhead splicers, because they also do spawn in the third level of the game. So you can knock down those two research tracks in that one particular area, then you move on. Like I mentioned, you cannot go back once you complete an area, so that is very important. So you need to make sure that you have done everything that it is possible in that particular area before you move on. So for the Spider and Houdini splicers, they also spawn in specific areas of the game. So once you start doing research on them, make sure you also don't move on or progress till you actually complete their research, because if you don't, the Houdini also just spawns in a specific area, so they won't spawn back again. Also for security, same thing. Just make sure you do research on the turrets, security cameras, and the bots. And like I mentioned, there's that hint. Always check on the hint, and it will tell you how to maximize on the research. And also as an added bonus, also make sure you're buying tonics that boost the research, because once you have those tonics available, like I mentioned, also keep on purchasing the slots, add them to your slots, and once you add those research specific tonics to your slots, you'll be maximizing research. And Big Sister is quite the, it'll be quite the research, because the only way to maximize on the research is actually when you actually kill the enemy. During research, you actually get the maximum amount of research points. So Big Sister, you will get this trophy, or rather the research trophy, the last one, research you'll actually be doing is the Big Sister, because they take quite a while to research on, and near the end of the game you will encounter two Big Sisters at the same time. Yeah, okay, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I felt you needed to know that, because Those two big sisters, you need to maximize on them fully, because the last big sister you're gonna take down should earn you the Master Research Trophy at that point. You will not get the trophy other than till at the very end of that particular moment in time if you've been maximizing on all the research types of everything in the game. Trap Master. Kill 30 enemies using only traps. So this trophy requires you to kill a total of 30 enemies with traps. So the game actually has traps based on the different types of weapons you use. So for example, with the revet gun, there's a bullet type which is called the trap revet. So you can kill enemies by just placing them on the ground, or maybe when you're trying to gather little sister during a gather, or actually directly shooting them with the traps. And so long as they die from it. Another type is the proximity bombs. Also that, just either you can shoot directly and they die, or just place it somewhere. And also there is the plasmids for the cyclone trap. So that plasmid also serves as a trap so long as they die from it. And also there's the spear gun, which has a bolt trap, I believe. So once you shoot that or put it in place, and so long as an enemy is gonna trip on it and actually die from it, and you need to do that, all that maybe in a total of for 30 enemies, and you will get this trophy. Big spender. Spent $2,000 at vending machines. So this game, I think at max you can collect, I think in your inventory, I think you can only hold $600, I believe. So once you spend, like a cumulative total of 2,000 in any vending machine, so that can be the normal vending machine or the ammo type vending machines, or even the health station, so long as you continuously spending money, obviously you'll be buying stuff. So pretty much, as you're playing through the game, this is something that it will just generally unlock without any issues. Savior Trophy. That's saved every little sister and spared Grace, Stanley, and Jill. So like I mentioned in the previous trophy, that was for how dealt with every little sister. Like I mentioned there, you need to save every little sister, or rather you'll get the option of rescue, I think. So just make sure you're always rescuing them. Also you'll meet characters called Grace, Stanley, and Jill. So these three guys, just spare them, do not kill them. Yeah, just make sure you don't, just leave them alone. Once you interact with them, just leave them alone. Not to get into any aspect of their story, but just once you see these guys, because they're spanned out in the game, you eventually it's inevitable. So it's not like it's a specific place they're hidden. The story will lead you there. So once you interact with them, just leave them alone. Don't kill them, just leave them. So yeah, and you will unlock the trophy. 9 Irony. Paid respects to the founder of Rapture. So if you don't know who the founder of Rapture is, or maybe, for some weird reason you're playing Bioshock 2 without actually playing Bioshock 1, but anyway, so this is how you actually pay respects to the founder of Rapture without giving any spoilers.
Parasite must be chopping my heirlooms for kindling even now. It sickens me.
Counterattack. Killed an enemy with its own projectile. This one is pretty much straightforward. The lead head splices throw at you grenades. Even the trophy icon shows you throwing back a grenade. Just simply catch it with the telekinesis plasmid and throw it back at them. So long as they die from it, you'll get the trophy. So even any other enemy type that I might have not said that throws something at you, just throw it back at them. Catch it and throw it back at them, so long as they die from it. But definitely I'd recommend using that on the lead splicers. You can get this pretty much early on in the game. Last but not least, the Unbreakable trophy. Defended yourself against the big sister without dying. So there's the first big sister you're gonna meet in the game, and the first one you meet, actually you cannot take them down. That's based on the story. but the follow-up big sister, that big sister will spawn after you've dealt with the little sisters in a particular area. Once you've done that, the big sister will come after. Just give you the game gives you a bit of time to prepare yourself. So during that time, just kind of make sure you've maxed out on health, you're good to go, you have your ammo ready, you have your guns ready, maybe you've set up 1 or 2 traps, maybe you have 1 or 2 bots, on the ready, or you're maybe under security camera such that at least you're making the fight easy. I'd recommend also saving at that moment in time once you're ready. Once the big sister shows up, and just go for it. And in case you die, you've already saved, so you can quickly just load up that save and try again, and with that you will unlock the trophy. So those were the missable trophies in Bioshock 2, and you should have gotten them in your first playthrough if you're following along with this video. So on to the second playthrough. So for your second playthrough, it's only 1 trophy that you're going for here, and that is against all odds. Finish the game on the hardest difficulty. So pretty straightforward also. Let's set the game on the hardest difficulty, and this one you can put the Vita Chambers on, so in case you die, you'll just quickly spawn and get back into the fight. But at the end of the day, I think I still recommend just quickly saving. If you're going to be in a situation where you feel you're almost about to die, just quickly save, and once you save and for instance you die, you can just quickly load that up and do something different about that particular situation. And for your second playthrough, I recommend now, since in your first playthrough you saved every little sister, in your second playthrough, harvest all of them. Harvest. Now you're gonna be a bad person. Like I was harvesting in my second playthrough, so you can get the different ending of the game. So that's kind of like the evil ending. So the first one you get kind of like a good ending. The second playthrough, try doing the evil ending. So you have to harvest all little sisters, and for Jill and Stanley, just take them out. Just take them out. Stanley, for me, I took him out very proper, because based on the story, man, this guy was a bad guy. So make sure you just kill everyone, harvest everyone, and you'll have seen all the experience about Bioshock 2 and what it has to offer. And with that said, and all the other trophies that I did mention in this video, you will naturally unlock them. It's not an issue, not a problem. So long as you get from the start to the end of the game, the ones that I didn't mention, you will unlock the trophy. And with that, there you go. There's the platinum.
You made a monster of me, Father. But I wondered why you saved the others. You left me in doubt. Didn't you want me to be like you?
So with that is the best way that you're gonna platinum Bioshock 2, well, according to me. So let me know if you're gonna get the platinum of Bioshock 2. Let me know if you're actually gonna use this guide, and let me know if this actually helps. So I'd obviously recommend anyone to play the entire Bioshock series. That's what I'm currently doing. I played the games back in the day when I was a bit more younger, so now I'm just coming back actually now to get the platinum trophies. So I've already done the first one, now this is the second one. Now I'm gonna do the third one, that is Bioshock Infinite. So do leave a like, do subscribe if you're new here, do share this video to anyone that you think needs to check out this video, and there are more videos like this to come. I'm gonna also be doing an experience video or experience platinum videos where I'm gonna be talking about my experience getting a platinum on a game. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe to the channel, and let's keep on interacting. Let's talk in the comment section below. I always want to interact with new people and talk about these games. So with that said, I'm gonna leave it on that. Till next time, take care and see you.